First thing we need to get into at about Wednesday at about 4 o'clock, there was a Woj bomb heard all around the world. In a blockbuster four-team deal, including the Houston Rockets, the Brooklyn Nets, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Indiana Pacers, James Harden is on the move from the Houston Rockets to the Brooklyn Nets, joining forces with KD and Kyrie and the rest of the Nets squad, adding a top 5 player, the best scorer in the league, to a team that was already favored in the East, moving their odds to win the East or the NBA overall from plus 500 to plus 270, which is still second in the league to the Lakers at plus 260. Um, on the move in the deal besides Harden, Karis LeVert was traded to the Houston Rockets, but immediately traded to the Pacers for Victor Oladipo. So Oladipo's moving from the Pacers to the Rockets. Center Jared Allen is on the move, and Dorian Prince, they're going to the Cavs. Rockets get Dante Exum and Rodion Kurucs. I think that's how you say his name, but they're both going to the Rockets. Included in the trade are also 3 protected first-round picks plus 5 pick swaps going to the Rockets, as well as the Cavs' 2022 first-round pick from the Bucks and a future second-round pick from the Pacers. Brooklyn gets a 2022 second-round pick from the Cavs. And this all comes weeks after the drama with James Harden, including his absence at training camp, his maskless trip to a strip club a few days before reporting, him coming about 30 pounds overweight. And then just ever since then, since day one, has just been talking shit about Houston, about his teammates, about the coaches, about the owners, about the GM, just doing everything that he can, everything in his power to get out of Houston. The straw that broke the old camel stick was James Harden saying a few days ago, they're just not good enough, meaning the Rockets, and that he doesn't see the team making the necessary steps to improve and get them towards that direction. There's been reactions all over the NBA from Nets fans rejoicing to Rockets fans saying, okay, good, get him out of here. We don't want him here. To other Rockets fans saying, oh, we miss James Harden. We love James Harden. We need him back. From his teammates, Boogie Cousins was interviewed, and he said, obviously, it's disrespectful. James Harden's been disrespecting this team since day one, since he's came. He said that the whole team feels a type of way about the actions that James Harden's displayed over the past month and a half. And he, being coming there this season, was expecting to play with him, and he feels kind of betrayed by James Harden leaving. He said as it wasn't personal, but he says sometimes this is the part of the business that you don't really ever get to see, the messy breakups between the star player and an organization that he's been on for a long time, and he just says it's completely unfair to the rest of the team and the coaching staff. With the addition of Harden to this lineup, the Nets now have 3 superstars that average over 27 points a game. There's a lot of points to go around. There's only a certain amount of points that can be scored in a night, and those 3 are definitely going to need to get their buckets. Kyrie left the Cleveland Cavaliers because he was tired of feeling like the backup, the second fiddle to LeBron James, but now he is definitively the third best player and the third option on his team. He will still be the point guard. He'll have control of the ball, but James Harden and Kevin Durant will definitely get most of the credit at any success that they have. And Kyrie's probably going to get a lot of the blame for the failures they have because of his history being a poor locker room guy, being tough to get along with, being tough to function in the locker room with. So any problems that could arise from this team, because they are 3 what we'd like to call drama queens, all 3 of them. Kevin Durant with replying to tweets, using burner accounts, being soft, being all emotional and stuff. Kyrie with his flat earth nonsense and has been crazy ever since the day he said that. And James Harden, obviously, with all the drama that's just happened with him. They all are kind of prima donna-esque superstars who like to get their way and like things to keep going smooth with the flow, how they like it. And if it's not going the way they like it, they let it be known. And this could cause problems with the other teammates, with the other stars, if Kyrie's not getting enough touches on the ball. Because I don't think Kevin Durant's production will be affected at all. I think it's going to be mostly Kyrie's because he's going to be feeding James Harden and Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, basically, his production's guaranteed. He's underneath. He's their number one underneath option towards the basket, and that's where the offense flows through. So he's going to be his production probably won't go down. But Kyrie's is their main producer from beyond the arc and from deep two range. And now that's going to be James Harden. So all those buckets are going to be going to James Harden. So we'll see how Kyrie's production changes, if it does, and we'll see if his attitude changes along with his production, which would not be good for the Brooklyn Nets. But the Brooklyn Nets also did get James Harden as an insurance policy against Kyrie's antics because he has been out for personal reasons for the past week and a half. And they can really ship Kyrie off for a pretty good trade. And now they have a good team with two top-heavy superstars in James Harden and Kevin Durant. And they don't really need Kyrie, but the three of them together, if their styles are all playable, like if they don't clash, if they're not slowing down the flow of the offense because they all need to get their shots up, if they're able to play together and produce and put up a lot of big numbers, this is a scary team. The NBA really does have its hands full. They all are just scoring monsters. I mean, Kyrie's got a shot. Kevin Durant's one of the best scorers in the league, and James Harden is actually the perennial scoring leader. So really, these guys just know how to get buckets. I'm sure their defense will lack post-trade. Kevin Durant is probably the best defender at this point. James Harden doesn't really get back on defense much, and Kyrie's just not very good at defense. They're definitely going to need to shore up the defense. Steve Nash is definitely going to need to draw up a good defensive strategy against the teams that they're going against, and I think that'll be the biggest weakness, adding James Harden. But if they could hold it down on D, if their playing styles on offense don't clash, and there is minimal problems in the locker room, minimal drama between these three guys, ladies, as some may call them, this team is scary for every team in the league, including the Lakers. We do need to see how it works, how it plays out, how they are on the court, how it flows, before we make any predictions with the Brooklyn Nets. I am still taking Lakers in a 7-game series, pretty much no matter what. But I mean, if they come out and look crazy, one of the best teams ever, which they have the potential to be, they have the potential to be a dynasty in Brooklyn for years to come. If these three are able to coexist on the court and off the court together, this is something very interesting. The Woj bomb that was dropped changed the landscape of the league forever, and we will see where the Brooklyn Nets go from here. Make sure you check out my article talking about adding the addition of James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets roster. I go into a lot more detail about how it affects each player and how it's going to change the defense and offensive plans and strategies of each player on the Brooklyn Nets. So just check that out. It's on Medium, 732 Studios.